Hello, in this video we're making some watery pools. Now these will be great for either wee ponds or blast craters. Just change the colour of the water. So the first step is to cut some cardboard to size, and this is going to be used for our base. We're then going to use some decorator's caulk. So what you're going to do is you're going to squeeze out some of this caulk and you're going to put it around the edge of your cardboard base. Then with a glove, because it's quite sticky, you're going to just gently dab it and form a kind of rough steeped side, and do this right the way around the edge of the cardboard base. Now once it's dry, you want to prime it. Now for this, don't use your good model paint. I just use some cheap black craft paint, or even a cheap car plastic primary spray that you can get from Hobbycraft or even Poundland. With the ponds primed, now we're going to take another craft paint. This is just an acrylic brown. I'm going to use this to gently paint over a kind of overbrush of the entirety of the pond. And now it's time for the fun bit. This is when you're painting in that base colour for your water. So now it's time to decide whether you're making a nice little picturesque blue pond or a murky, dirty, muddy blast crater pool. So just use blue and green and then add a bit more brown if you want that grimy look. Mix it up and just dab that into the watery area of your pond or blast crater. This might take several attempts to get the colour just right. As you can see, I've experimented with adding some more blue and some more browns, but it's all good fun. Just blend the colours together until you get a colour which you're satisfied with. The paint will dry a lot darker than when it first goes on. So, to remedy for this, just take a tan colour or add some white to your original colour, and you can use that to apply a very light dry brush to pick out the edges of the details. And we can do this by adding some white to our blue to go over the tops of the water as well. Now, I wasn't actually too happy with how this turned out. I thought it was too bright and blue. So, not to worry, an easy way to remedy that is just create a bit of a wash mixture with a bit more grimy colours, and then you can apply that over your watered areas. And now comes the really fun part of this build. Rather than using some expensive resin mixture to make our water effect, we're just going to use a magic trick, and we're going to take some cheap bathroom silicone sealant, and we're just going to splodge 2 dabs onto each of our ponds. So you'll want to wear a glove for this part because this stuff is really sticky and you don't want it on your hands. But just really work it in to all the nooks and crannies in your pond and spread it across the entirety of wherever you want water to be. So not just the center, but also work it into the banks as well. And you can just stipple it with your fingertip if you want to try and get a bit more of that flowing water look. Okay, so once you've done that, move it to one side, let it dry, refer to the back of your silicon sealant to see how long it should take, but it could take a wee while. Once that's dried, just dab on a bit of PVA glue to the kind of edges of your ponds, and you can apply some tufts or some flock if you want to give it a bit of colour and a bit of a more natural look. So for this, I'm just using some of these kind of dark dead grass tufts because this is kind of like a murky pond. But again, you can use whatever you want. Use some flowers and things like that. There's an endless supply of flock and tuft types you can use out there. And with that, our ponds are done. So I really like the way that this silicon is kind of like a cheap cheat water effect. I think it looks really good. And of course, you can use these ponds at any scale appropriate for your wargaming or your hobbying. So let me know what you think in the comments.